Hello, everyone, and how are you people today? First of all, let me thank you all for making us 7K strong community now. We are a YouTube channel, MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you, and I am your host, your host, and always again in the ghost mode, Mohit Jain. So today I would be discussing few questions, rather 15 questions on aptitude and different topics of aptitude, basically arithmetic, which might come in your TIAA assessment, online assessment examination this season of 2021. You may go through their website and see that how different companies are there with the TIAA group. They are bankers, they are into investment, and the different jobs also with their profile which are available. You can also see and go through it. It's both on campus and off campus. You can apply off campus uh, on different jobs on their website, and they will be sending you the link for assessment and whatsoever the process is. So as far as their on campus program is concerned, it would be a 60 to 90 minutes test which will have aptitude questions and coding questions. Aptitude will be comprising of reasoning ability, verbal ability, and quantitative ability, as we know. So let's begin. Let's solve few questions. The average of 13 numbers is 60. That means total of these 13 numbers should be 13 into 60, that is 780. Average of first 7 of them is 57. That means total of first 7 of them is 7 into 57. And that of the last 7 is 61. That means the total of last 7 is 7 into 61. So if I add them up, what I'll get is 7 into 118, that would be 826. Now this is first 7 and this is last 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means this number is being taken twice if I have added up both. Find the eighth number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be find the seventh number, not the eighth number. Then the seventh number would be simply 826 minus 780, that is 46. And that is in option A. A and B are two alloys with mixtures, in which ratio of gold and copper are 5:3 and 5:11. If these equally amount of two alloys, same weight, are melted and made alloy C, what will be the ratio of gold and copper in this alloy? This is the trick here. It is equally, we can very easily work out with fractions. Gold here is 5 by 8 and copper is 3 by 8. Gold in the second one is 5 by 5 plus 11, that is 16, and copper is 11 by 16. Here denominator is 8, here denominator is 16. Let's just multiply this by 2 and 2 in the numerator denominator. So this will become 10 by 16 and 6 by 16. Fine enough. Then total gold is 10 by 16 plus 15 by plus 5 by 16, that is 15 by 16, and total copper would be 6 by 16 plus 11 by 16, that is 17 by 16. So the ratio of copper and gold in the new mixture C would be 15:17. Option D fits in. Okay, a question from profit and loss. First of all, we know that selling price is equals to cost price into 100 plus minus profit by 100. If it is profit, we'll add up. If it is loss, then it would be treated as negative profit. We will deduct it. The cost price of item B is 200 more than cost price of A. A and cost price of B is A plus 200. Item A was sold at a profit of 20%. That means selling price of item A should be A into 120 by 100. And item B was sold at a loss of 30%. That means selling price of B should be cost price A plus 200 into 30% loss, 100 minus 30, that is 70 by 100. If the respective ratio of selling price of A and B is 6:7, that means A into 120 by 100 divided by this entire thing into 100 upon 70 into A plus 200. This ratio is given as 6 by 7. Cancel. The 7 will cancel with 10 and this will go here. This will be 2. That means 2A equals A plus 200. Therefore, A is equals to 200. Cost price of item A is 200. Now the question is, what is the cost price of item B? Cost price of item B is A plus 200. 200 plus 200 will be 400. Cost of item B is 400. That is in option B. In a certain store, the profit is 270% of the cost. That means if cost is C, then profit is 270% means 2.7 C. That means selling price would be cost plus profit is selling price, that is 3.7 times cost price. If the cost increases by 30%, that means the new cost would be 1.3 C. But the selling price remain constant. Selling price is 3.7 C. This is the new cost price. Approximately what percent of the selling price is the profit now? We need to find the new profit. New profit is selling price minus new cost. 3.7 minus 1.3 will be 2.4 C. Now they are asking us to calculate profit with respect to selling price. So profit percentage with respect to selling price means new profit divided by selling price into 100. That is 2.4 C by 3.7 C. 24 by 37. Now, if I don't have calculator, how I will calculate? I'll approximate this to 24 by 40. 24 by 40 is 60%. Now, since I have inflated the denominator, numerator is not changed. My actual answer should be 60% plus and very near to it. And the only option which is 60% plus and near to it is 65. 65 is the answer. Or else 24 by 37, by using calculator, it will give 64.86% to be more precise, which is again approximately 65%. Option A is the answer. A peculiar question condition from time and work situation. Suppose there are 3 persons working, and if they are working together, the time taken by them to complete the work is X days. And it is known that A alone takes P times what B and C takes. B takes Q times what A and C takes, and C takes R times what A and B takes to do the work. Then A alone will be completing the work in P plus 1 into X days. B alone would be completing in Q plus 1 into X days, and C alone would be completing in R plus 1 into X days. We can use this concept to solve many questions. Now here it is given that ABC can complete the work working together in 20 days. B takes twice as long as A and C together. B takes 2 times what A and C together takes to complete the work. That means B alone would be able to complete the work in 2 plus 1 into 20, that is 60 days. C takes twice as long as A and B together. That means C will alone take 2 plus 1 into 20. C will also take 60 days. Now what is the question? In how many days B can alone do the work? We have already calculated that. B alone will take 60 days to complete the work. Option B fits in. If we know this concept, straight away without any calculation we can find these kind of questions answer. Again a classical situation from time and work. In time and work, basically there are 3 variables: men or the labor who is working, time which we call D, maybe in days, hours, and the work. The relationship between these 3 is popularly known as masala formula. Masala formula from my rule book, which says M1 D1 H1, if D and H both are the parameter of time, M1 D1 H1 by W1 equals M2 D2 H2 by W2. You can recall this formula by this acronym MDH masala, isn't it? Given that the efficiency of this group of men and this group of men is same, then this formula always holds good. A project manager hired 15 men to complete a project in 40 days. Okay, work is one project. However, after 30 days, he realized that only half of the work is complete. That means 15 men have worked for 30 days and completed only half of the work. How many more men does he need? Let he required M number of men to complete the project on time. Time remaining is 1 minus half. Time remaining is 40 minus 30, that is 10 days. And the work remaining is 1 minus half, that is half. Now we can compare these two sets and easily find the value of M using this masala formula. M1 D1 by W1 equals M2 D2 by W2. If we solve this, we get M equals to 45. That means he requires 45 men to complete the work on time. He already have like 15 men. That means extra men you need to hire is 45 minus 15, that is 30. And that is in option D. I've deliberately picked up a standard question from time and work to discuss few concepts of time and work in this particular session. Here we will discuss efficiency and time. Both are inversely related to each other. If efficiency ratio of 2 person is E1 is to E2, then time taken ratio will automatically be inverse of E1 is to E2, that will be E2 is to E1. Efficiency of A is 25% more than B. That means if in a given time B produces 100 units, A will produce 125 units. That is the efficiency ratio. So efficiency ratio of A and B is 125 is to 100, that is 5 is to 4. That means time taken ratio of A and B would be 4 is to 5. A will take 4x days to complete a work, B will take 5x days to complete that particular work. Now it's given B takes 25 days to complete a piece of work. That means 5x is equals to 25. X is equals to 25 by 5, that is 5. That means 4x is 20. So these are the actual time taken. A takes 20 days, B takes 25 days to complete the work. A started a work alone and then B joined her 5 days before completion of the work and the work is completed. Let A works for complete X days and B works for only 5 days, isn't it? Then using the work fraction format, we can say that work done by A is X by 20 and work done by B in 5 days is 5 by 25, and which will be equals to total work done, which is always taken as 1 in fraction. If we solve this, 1 minus 1 by 5 is 4 by 5. That means this is 4 times. X is 4 into 4, 16 days. X is 16 days. Here we have taken X days. He have worked for X days. That means A have worked for total 16 days. Now what is the question? For how many days A worked alone? A have worked with B for the last 5 days. That means A have worked alone for 16 minus 5, that is 11 days. Option A fits in. We have done efficiency concept with time concept. We have taken the work done fraction format and calculated it. And please focus on the question asked. Question asked is tricky. They are not asking that how long A worked for. They are just asking for how long A worked alone. If one of the option given instead of 15 is 16, please beware. Don't be in a hurry and mark 16. Answer will be 11 days. A classical time and work pipe and system question where I would be using rule 8 from the rule book, that is CM rule, common multiple rule, along with alternative days or here minutes work. How to solve these kind of questions. There are 3 pipes A, B and C attached to a container. A and B can fill the container alone in 20 and 30 minutes. A can do this work in 20 minutes. B can do the same work in 30 minutes. Filling a tank is a work. Whereas C can empty the container alone in 45 minutes. That means C is an outlay pipe. In case of outlay pipe, we write this as minus 45 minutes. Now, the 3 pipes are kept open alone for 1 minute each in the order A, B, C. The same order is followed subsequently. In how many minutes will the tank or the reservoir or the container be full? Do not use fraction method to solve these kind of question. Rule 8 CM rule and how it works. Let us first decide on the capacity of the container, which is nothing but LCM of these 3 numbers. 20, 30, 45. Okay, let us take the capacity of the container is 180 liter, which is nothing but LCM of 20, 30 and 45. That's why I call this method CM rule, common multiple rule. A can fill up this 180 liters in 20 minutes. Then what is the capacity of A in liter per minute? 180 by 20, that is 9 liter. In this tank, A will fill up 9 liters per minute. B will fill up 180 divided by 30, that is 6 liter per minute. And C will take out 180 liters in 45 minutes. That means C will take out 180 by 45, that is 4 liters per minute. So this is how the trend will move. In the first minute, there will be 9 liter water in the tank. In the second minute, 6 more liter would come in. That will make it 15 liter water in the tank. That means after the end of 2 minutes, there is 15 liter water in the tank. But by the end of 3rd minute, 4 liter water would be pumped out. Only 11 liter left. Getting it? In 3 minutes cycle, there is 11 liter water in the tank. Now just divide 180 by 11 and try to locate how many 3-minute cycles are required, and we'll play one trick with it. When I divide 180 by 11, what I get is 16 point something. Whatever quotient you get, always work with one less of it. Now tell me, in 15 cycles, that is 15 into 3, 45 minutes, how much tank is filled up? 15 into 11, that is 165 liter water is there, or 165 liter water or whatever liquid is there at the end of 45 minutes. Now what is happening? At the end of 46th minute, A is coming in and adding up 9 liter. 165 plus 9 is 174. By the end of 46th minute, 174 liter is there. After 1 more minute, B is coming up and filling up 6 more liter. What is 174 plus 6? 180. Job done, because the capacity of the tank is only 180 liter. By the end of 47th minute, the tank would be full. In how many minutes will the reservoir be full? First time the tank would be full, 180 liters. By the end of 47th minute, option A fits in. A certain sum is invested for certain time. It amounts to rupees 600 at 10% per annum. But when invested at 5% per annum, it amounts to rupees 400. Find the time, and it's given that simple interest to be reckoned. In case of simple interest, amount is given by P into 1 plus RT by 100, where R is the rate of interest and T is the time in years for which it's been invested. So we have first equation, 600 equals P into 1 plus R is 10, 10T by 100. And we have second equation, 400 equals P into 1 plus R is 5%, 5T by 100. So if I divide this both side, this will be 3 by 2, PP cancel out, 3 plus 15T by 100 equals 2 plus 20T by 100. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 20 minus 15 is 5T. Is 5T by 100. Therefore, T is equals to 20 years. And yes, that we have in option C. A classical question from replacement of mixtures. This concept forms part of my Rule 6, the Jungle Rule book. Here, suppose we have a container of capacity E filled up with liquid A. With help of a small container of capacity C, I have taken out this liquid, and with the same container of same capacity, I have filled up liquid B in it. Now again I have taken out mixture of capacity C and again replaced it by liquid B, and if I keep on repeating this, eventually what will happen, that liquid A will start decreasing and proportion of liquid B will start increasing. We can use a small formula in this case. Proportion of liquid A left divided by proportion of liquid A in the beginning equals 1 minus C by E to the power n. Now n means what? N means number of time this activity is done. Taking out and adding the same amount. Taking out and adding the same amount means one activity. Now how we can use this in this particular question? A vessel is filled with liquid, 3 parts of which are water and 5 parts syrup. water is to syrup is 3:5. What part of the mixture must be drawn off? We are looking out for C by E if in fraction we are working out, and replaced with water, and it is replaced with water. That means in this formula syrup will feature, so that the mixture may be half water and half syrup. Proportion of syrup left upon proportion of syrup in the beginning. Since it is half water and half syrup, now the ratio becomes 1:1. Proportion of syrup left is half. Proportion of syrup in the beginning was 5/8. This is equals to 1 minus C by E, and only one time this is done. 4/5 equals 1 minus C by E. We are looking out for the value of C by E. That is 1 minus 4/5, 1/5. 1/5 of the mixture, or answer would have been given in percentage also. 20% of the mixture need to be taken out and replaced with water, so that now there is half water and half syrup in the container. 1/5 is the answer, or answer could also have been 20%. In a bag there are 25 paise, 10 paise and 5 paise coins of these in the ratio 1:2:3. That means 25 paise coins, X coins, 10 paise 2X coins, and 5 paise we have 3X coins. If there is rupees 30 in all, now we need to find the monetary value in rupees. This will be 25 paise into X, 25X by 100, plus 10 paise, that means 20X by 100 in rupees, and 5 into 3 would be 15X by 100. That is equals to rupees 30 in total. 25, 45 and 60. 60X is 3000. X is equals to 50. The common ratio is 50. Now what is the question? How many 5 paise coins are there? These are the 5 paise coins. We have got 3 into 50, that is 150 5 paise coins are there. Option A fits in. A person borrows rupees 3000 for 2 years at 5% per annum simple interest. He immediately lends it to another person at 6% per annum compound interest for 2 years. Find his average gain in the transaction per year. Simple interest he is supposed to pay at the end of 2 years would be P R T by 100. 30 into 10, he is supposed to return 300 as interest plus 3000, 3300. Now, the total amount he will receive, which he have given on compound interest, is P into 1 plus I that is R by 100, to the power N is 2. Let's calculate this. 3000 into 1.06, 1.06 whole square is 1.1236. That will give 3370.8. He will get 3370.80, and he is supposed to pay 3300. That means his gain in 2 years is 3370.80 minus 3300. That is 70.80 rupees. Find his average gain in the transaction per year. Gain per year is simple average. We can calculate 70.80 by 2. That is 35.40, and that is in option C. Here very easily we can use the concept of duplicate ratio and triplicate ratio for solving these kind of questions. If ratio of side or ratio of radius is given, that is R1, R2, R3, then surface area surface area ratio is nothing but duplicate ratio. Duplicate ratio is the square of these. And volume ratio is given by the triplicate ratio, that is cube of these. Very handy concept in case of mensuration. Two spheres of radius are two spheres of the radius in the ratio 4:3. So radius ratio is known 4:3. Find the volume ratio. Volume ratio is triplicate ratio. 4 cube is to 3 cube. That is 64 is to 2 cube is 27. That is in option C. Another one from profit and loss. And here the concept of sales tax is also incorporated with the discount given on marked price. If discount is given on marked price and we have sales tax which is charged after the discounted price, then the formula which we use is effective selling price after sale tax would be marked price into 100 minus D by 100, that would be discounted price, into 100 plus tax rate by 100, that would be the selling price after tax. A discount of 20% is given on the marked price of an article. 20% means 80 by 100. The shopkeeper charges sales tax at the rate 10% on the discounted price. T is 10, 110 by 100. If now the selling price is 1848, this is equals to 1848. Find what is the marked price. 110, this gone. 8, it would be 231. With 11, it would be 21. That means marked price is 21 into 100, 2100, and that is in option B. A student was asked to divide a number by 6. Let the number is n. He was asked to do this. And add 12 to the quotient. Whatever he will get, add 12 to it. This is what he was supposed to do. He, however, first added 12 to the number. He did this. And then divide it by 6. Getting 112 as the answer. That means n plus 12 equals 672. N is actually 672 minus 12. That is 660. The number we are looking out for is 660. Question is, the correct answer should have been, this should be the correct answer. So correct answer should have been 660 by 6 plus 12. That is 110 plus 12. 122. 122 should have been the correct answer. That is in option A. So do practice these kind of question and also practice few questions from time, speed and distance, because lot of question would be asked from arithmetic and few questions from clock calendars or number system, like these kind of questions, simple questions on number system. Do practice this if you are preparing for this particular examination, TIAA. And on this note, thank you everyone for participating. I'm signing off. Best wishes to all of you.